So in this video, I'm going to go over a few trades that I took on Wednesday, February 10th. I plan to do weekly recaps in the future, but for this week, I'm going to start with one day. Please note, if you're new here or new to finance, there definitely will be a lot of stuff and a lot of terminology that I use that won't make too much sense, but don't worry, I'm going to slowly make videos about everything money and finance that I can think of, so make sure to bop the subscribe button for more. And leave any questions or comments you may have for me down below. I read every single one of them. Also, small background, when I trade, I scalp options, so I buy and sell options contracts very quickly, almost always holding for less than 5 minutes. I'm not a financial advisor and I only trade with a relatively small percentage of my portfolio, and any gains that I make from trading, I just buy more of my favorite long-term stocks. Options are a complicated financial instrument. They're not impossible to understand though, and I want to break them down more on my channel, so please learn and do your own research before putting your hard-earned money on the line. Here's a screenshot of my P&L, or profit loss on the day, and all of the trades that I made. After commissions, I made around $760, which is pretty good. Note that the cost basis is a little bit misleading because I have a margin account, but I'll cover what that means in a future video. I took around 18 trades on the day, and I'll go over my best and worst trades and what we can learn from them, as I think one of the best ways to get better at this is to review both the winners and the losers. My biggest win on the day was on BIDU, or BIDU. I was looking at it because it gapped up overnight, which just means that it was moving up a lot in the pre-market. I marked out a pre-market high of around 317.41. If you look at the pre-market, it sort of tested this level a couple of times but wasn't able to break through it. And at 9:38, it was approaching this level. There was good volume on the buying side, so I bought it right before the level break. And the reason I did so was I saw on the level 2 there was a very large sell order, so someone was trying to sell a lot of shares, but once it chewed through that order, it started moving up. So I thought there was going to be a lot of upside momentum, and indeed there was. In the next 1 minute candle, it pushed around $5 to the upside, so I sold into the momentum. And in terms of dollar amounts, I paid $13.95 for the contract, sold it at $16.60 for a $263 profit minus commissions, so that's just under 19% profit in 1 minute. Also note, you need to be careful with momentum plays like this, especially after a $5 move to the upside. They can pull back really quickly, so I make sure to get in and out quickly with scalps like these. Two of my biggest losses were kind of silly, 100% my fault. They were on Jumia, which is kind of like the African Amazon, and Shopify, which is a really big e-commerce company. The main reason I ran into issues was that I had never traded them before. So for example, for Jumia, I was looking at it because I saw a resistance level around 69 and I thought it could break it. And when levels like that tend to break, they tend to move a lot to the upside. But I got out early because I wasn't familiar with how the stock moved. And if you'll notice, if I actually had stayed in the position, I would have been green on the contracts. Additionally, I went in with 4 contracts, which I definitely should not do when trading something for the first time. I should definitely do one to sort of get my feet wet, so I lost about $70 on that trade. And for the Shopify one, the main issue that I ran into is that the bid-ask spread, which I'll cover in a future video, on the options contracts was really wide. So basically, the second you buy, you're down on the position. And what we can take away from these two kind of silly trades is that you should not trade what you don't know. And if you do, trade small size at the beginning. Start with 1 contract if you're trading options, or like a couple shares if you're doing shares. A few other winners I had on the day were Airbnb and Tesla, which I've been watching a lot recently because they move so much and it's kind of fun to trade them. But for Airbnb at 9:46, I saw a little flag pattern. There was good volume on the buying side, so I bought and sold the 215 call contracts for around $67 profit, or just over 7.5%. For Tesla kind of had a rough day on the 10th. It sort of just nosedived down, and then every time it tried to recover, it just went back down. So I did a few puts, which again is betting that the price will go down. One of the put positions that I took was the 810 put. I bought it at 10:41 a.m. because Tesla failed to hold the 9 EMA. There was low volume on the buying side, and the green candle was very bearish, all sort of indications that Tesla was about to go down. And if you look at the charts, it did. It sort of just went straight down $15 in the next 5 minutes. I didn't stay for the entire move. I sold it a minute later at 10:42 for just over 9%, or $193 profit. But Tesla really had a rough day on Wednesday, so it was good trading puts on it. I had a few other winners and losers, and you can see all the trades that I took on the day. But anyway, I hope recapping my trades is interesting, and I plan to do weekly recaps because the markets are so volatile right now. I feel like every day is kind of interesting. Again, I just want to stress that I am using options, which are a risky financial instrument, but can be used to magnify gains when managed properly. I use a relatively small percentage of my portfolio to trade, and I used my gains this week to buy EXPI, which is a stock I've been looking at for a while, and it went on a heavy 15% discount, so I was really happy to scoop up some. Anyway, I hope you guys were entertained, maybe learned a bit, and I'll see you guys soon.